Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Aqueduct. Cloudy skies today, but it is on the mild side as the temperature will approach 60 degrees. As we start the day, the main track is sloppy and it is sealed. Right now, we'll take a look at the changes for today's 9-race card. Starting in the first race, an equipment change for number 4, Blame It on Brutus. He'll run with blinkers on. Blinkers on, number 4. Scratch the 5, Simple Sugar, and scratch 6, Sutton Valley. First race, scratch 5 and 6. In today's second race, scratch 1A, Bingo John, and 11, Cecilia Mike. Scratch 1A and 11. Corrected weight on the 3, Just Right. The weight there is 122, and number 5 is 1 pound over. In the third race, no changes. Race 4 starts the pick 6 today, and we do have a carryover of more than $28,000. In the fourth, scratch 1A, Bezos. Scratch the 1A. In the fifth, scratch number 2, Royal Currency. Scratch number 2, and number 4 is 2 pounds over. Sixth race, couple of scratches. Scratch 1, Quality Stones, part of an entry, and scratch the 7, Violent Point. Scratch 1 and scratch 7 out of the 6th. Seventh race, scratch 1A, Grumps Little Tots. Scratch the 1A. Number 3, Microscope, runs with 1 aluminum pad again. Aluminum pad again for the 3. And a jockey change on number 6, Lost in Rome, to Pablo Fregoso. Fregoso will ride the 6. Featured 8th race is the Garland of Roses Stakes, and no changes. 9th race, we have these scratches. Scratch 4, Big Tony's Girl. 7, Tell a Perfect Tale. 8, Tootsie Song. And 13, Shining Colors. Scratch 4, 7, 8, and the 13. And note that number 6 will be 1 pound over. Main track sloppy and sealed. We'll be back at 11:50 to reprise the changes. First race post today is at 12:20. Up next, Greg and Anthony. They're talking horses.
Welcome to Talking Horses Saturday edition. Greg Wolf, Anthony Stabile. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you? I don't know where this rain came from.
Yeah, so
We got a
little
good
weather
deal of it,
here.
too.
We're going to
It
be
was
off
sloppy.
the turf today, which changed everything for me.
I got jokes. Saturday show starts with a joke.
Yeah, sloppy going to begin this card this afternoon. For those that don't know yet, there's no turf racing.
It rained so much, we're probably not going to be on the turf till April.
We'll see. There is a little more rain, I believe, expected
There
throughout
is.
the
Yeah,
afternoon.
there's
so
a
I don't think
couple. There's a
gonna
couple of bands coming through, and we'll see what happens. I mean, we're sloppy and sealed now, and I would imagine it's going to stay that way for the majority of the day, including
bad,
that,
actually.
including that pick 6 carryover. You know, this is the thing I love most about bringing back the traditional pick 6, the carryovers. Like the jackpot's the jackpot, I get that, but having the carryovers on a somewhat regular basis now, I enjoy those.
But even on a day where there's no carryover, you still have a chance to make a very good score, which you didn't have that opportunity before.
That pool yesterday was over $40,000 on an 8-race Friday card. We had some fun with that card yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't do very well, but we had some fun with that card. But yes, there are opportunities now. I'm a big proponent of the payout, not the jackpot wager. So I like the and the $1 is, I think, the best thing that's ever happened to the pick 6.
Do you guys ever review? You should, just a suggestion, review how you did on the previous show.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how my host would feel about that.
Might be painful for a lot of us. Let's do some business first. Pick 6 carryover begins in that 4th race this afternoon. You can play it, of course, by getting signed up and started with Naira Bets. Take advantage of that offer. $200 deposit match sign-up bonus with the promo code BONUS200. Go to NairaBets.com. Download the Naira Bets app. Great day to get involved and play this $28,207 carryover again, beginning in the fourth. And I do like a few prices today in this
Beautiful.
sequence. $20 bonus today with Naira Bets by playing through them. Bet $100 at Aqueduct and $100 at Tampa Bay Downs, and you get $20 whether you win or lose. You got to opt in, again, at NairaBets.com or on the app to take advantage of that offer. Another bonus, $20 win bet bonus. Hit a $25 win bet, you'll get $20 additional back in your account. Los Al Futurity, their big one today out on the West Coast. Also, I'll be on the air starting at 4 Eastern on America's Day at the Races, 4 to 6 Eastern on FS2. We actually started 3 Eastern on SNY. FS2 kicks off at 4 Eastern.
Beautiful. Hopefully, at some point on SNY, we can hear that Buck Showalter is the new manager of the New York Mets. I'm waiting.
work on that.
It's getting a little annoying now. I mean, this is the most obvious. This is print rack yesterday. Just hired a guy. What are we waiting for? I picked him yesterday, you know.
No, you did not. Print rack?
Yeah, we both picked him. We had the same exact
But you said
numbers.
you're trying to beat him.
Yeah, of course, but we picked him.
Okay.
Come on, Greg. We both had him right on top.
Should we get into it? What do you go off at, 1 to 2?
This is why we don't review the days before races.
I wanted to review because I actually had a decent day.
I know you did. No, you did. You had a very good. That's why I said we had some fun with the card yesterday. By we, I mean you. But it's a team effort up here.
Yeah, no question. It's seriously.
Especially when you do all the heavy lifting.
It becomes more clear as you talk it. I advise anyone who goes through these picks too to find someone to talk it out with because things just become more clear to you when you do it.
That's the beauty of this show. This show, you know, they put a camera in front of us, but Andy and I have been doing this since I'm 14 years old. That's 30 years, right? Just first floor here, Harvey's office, which we're right next to. I mean, it's Harvey's studio.
I don't know who I feel more sorry for.
This is what we've done. This is what we do,
Yeah.
and this is what you come to the racetrack for the camaraderie, your friends, and this is what we do. So I think that's why we have so much fun.
No, it's great. Well, let's kick off the card. 6 furlongs, $20,000 maiden claiming race, and all right, let's start with your selection here.
Yeah. So
Run
after
White
the
Rabbit,
after
which is
the events,
impossible for me to get out. If you were calling this race, I would just say the 11.
I called his debut actually when
How'd it
3-2
go?
zone 1. Well, fine.
You got it out every time?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Run White Rabbit. Run White Rabbit.
Don't say it
You only got to
5
say it
times.
twice. Yeah, you only got to try and get through him twice going 3/4. After that display by Juan Vasquez yesterday, I didn't realize it was going to rain this much, but I kind of held off on putting the picks up till last night. Wanted to see what the weather was going to be. Like you said, turf. Just kidding. There were 2 horses yesterday. I'm not going to get into it too much. The form reversal and the races they were coming off of was just too much for me to pick up this card and look. I had a tough time with this race. First, go through the card.
Yeah.
Right. This was a tough race. But after what I saw yesterday, I'm just going to take the horse that's dropping. Because he dropped last time, technically, but that was on the turf. It was off the melee off, and now he's going to drop again to the very bottom that we have here in New York. And, yeah, after that display yesterday, I'll take my chances with this horse in a maiden 20. I'll use a little 7, Mr. JT, who's probably the most obvious. David made him the 7-2 morning line favorite now. But, yeah, I mean, Mr. JT to me has had a few chances. I don't know about you, Greg. You see this horse's card, he gets beat a half length, he gets beat 3/4 of length. I don't like these horses that are a little camera shy, that lose
You're talking about Mr. JT?
Yeah, that lose these closer finishes.
Yeah.
They're usually not for me. So
And they were at this level, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So I would ordinarily have went hunting for someone else. After that display yesterday, it made things pretty simple. Put Run White Rabbit on top, and I mean 15-1 is, I mean, that is the pipe dream of all pipe dreams at this point.
Big
be
scratch in
5-1.
here, too. I thought the 6 was a major player in this race. That horse is out. I'd probably throw in the 8 as my 4th choice because that's a horse who scratched for me. I wound up going inside with Rye Runner. You see who this horse faced in his only 2 dirt starts, first 2 starts of his career last year as a 2-year-old. Had to deal with Olympiad, Caddo River, and Greatest Honor. Then he comes back again against Speaker's Corner, Caddo River, Greatest Honor. 4th in that race was Miles D.
That was the most loaded maiden race of the meet.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
It was, no question of the year. And he actually showed ability in that race. So that race against Speaker's Corner, Caddo River, who won 2, he sat in 3rd. He actually put in a nice move to pull in front of Caddo River in that race to his outside. He showed some ability in that start. and fought a little bit with Miles D as well before he finally packed it in and wound up a distant 7th. But that alone, I think, makes him a major, major force in this race.
You know, you and I talked about this off camera today, this morning actually via text. These maiden races now, you're going to, especially with the New York breds, you're going to start to see quote unquote turf horses, right? And this horse is Dry Runner's made his last 3 starts on turf. You're going to start to see this. So trying to hunt for a little bit of a nugget to find, and you know, like you said, he's faced. I mean, it's not, you can't even compare the company he faced on dirt in his first 2 starts to the horses he's facing today. Problem is, it's taken Tommy Albatrani over a year to get this horse back to the main track. So we'll see. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to die on any hill in here.
Yeah, and just quickly again on the 8 motion to strike, couple of starts against Maiden Special. He did show some ability early against Maiden Special at Belmont. Then he dropped to Maiden 30. He's actually on the lead for a little bit longer in that spot. Blinkers come off today. I think that if this horse is sharp again out of the gate, which he should be, I think that speed lasts a lot longer.
Yeah, we'll see.
First race in the books. Race 2, early pick 4. State bred $25,000 claiming race, 7/8 of a mile.
Yeah, I had a tough time with this one too, and then after this, things get a little easier for me. I feel. So the way the track was playing yesterday, I felt like you wanted to be forward, and you wanted to be. You didn't necessarily have to be in front, but you certainly wanted to be forward. The first 3 winners went gate to wire, kind of, you know, they were formful, and then the Juan Vasquez show started, and. You know, I guess the one race that really fell, 4 wins, half the card. Yeah, I guess the one race that really fell apart was the 6th race. Karamoka, and then Amity Island came and got her late. Those horses could have made that.
That was the reason we have a carryover, I felt.
I don't disagree with that. And I made my biggest play of the day on Karamoka yesterday. I thought I was home Jerome with the 8th pole. That was the only race that really kind of completely fell apart yesterday. So I think you want to be forward. With that said, I thought Dream Bigger, you know, you're going to see he ran for 16 last time, and now he's in for a quarter, but this quarter's against state breds. The race last time was against Open 16. And again...
His claim to fame, you know, by the way?
Dream Bigger?
Yeah.
No.
Favored over Tiz Law in his debut at Saratoga.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That is right. So he's going to face... These $25,000 New York bred races, they could come up really, really salty. They can.
Yeah.
This one really didn't. So I think with his speed, and last time he was in a situation where he wasn't going to be able to get to the top, I think Jose Lezcano realizes this horse's best weapon is his speed. And there's not a ton of sprint speed in here. I guess True Gold can go. But after True Gold, it gets a little dicey on the front end. I'd like to see Jose use his horse's speed today. 7/8 is a little bit of a question, but he's 8-1 on the morning line. I think you'll get all of that. I'm certainly going to use a few others in here. I'm going to use the 8, Manifest Destiny. I'm going to use the 10, my boy Bad Guy, maybe even the 3, Just Right. But I'm going to try and get Dream Bigger to take him gate to wire.
Okay. I went to Just Right, as you see. Beat by Manifest Destiny. 2 starts back. He's beat pretty handily, 4 1/4 lengths. But that was just completely a tale of trips. Manifest Destiny had the inside slot all the way around. Just Right was 3 wide early. Was about 4 wide in the stretch. I actually liked this performance from him. And then he came out of this race, and he actually took, and he was a big move forward in his next start at Charlestown in a win, which I'll talk about more in a minute.
Yeah, you're going to see Manifest Destiny, Kendrick Carmouche with a fantastic ride, just riding the rails here and tipping when he needs to go get more graceful. Yeah, this was a good effort from Manifest Destiny. Like you said, though, Just Right did not get the cleanest of trips that day. You know, I shouldn't even say cleanest of trips. He lost a lot of ground that day. And yeah, the winner, when the winner is able to save all the ground, and you got to just, you know, and you're taking all that air 3-4 wide around a racetrack, it's, you know, is it 4 lengths? I don't know. But it certainly puts them a lot closer than they finished that day.
And I just feel, too, you know, I look at thoroughgraphs as well. And the way that Just Right ran the race of his life last time out, he probably shouldn't have won that race, that Charlestown race. Nico, who's 5 for 10 lifetime, he's won 3 of his last 4. He's stakes placed as well. had a lone lead in the stretch. He actually jumped some tire tracks in the stretch, and that allowed Just Right to kind of go by him. But still, Just Right moved way up and ran the race of his life. But I like the way he's doing it. It's been a natural progression, getting better and better. And I think if he can repeat what he did in that last race, everybody else in here is going to have a tough time.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I have a little grudge against him. He put a tough beat on me in Broxbomber about a year and a half ago. That I'm still
I love
smarting
how we
from.
remember
Yeah.
these beats.
It's amazing.
It's always the beats we remember.
Oh, I remember the scores too. There's just a lot more beats to.
But we never
keep
talk
in the-
about it, do we?
No.
We talk about what could have been. Yeah. Race 3, maiden special weight, 6 furlongs in here, and it's another. What was the horse's name again yesterday in the opener?
Print rack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of a situation. This horse is going to be short.
Yeah, David may just.
Are we going to show this race?
Yes, we're going to show this horse's
Brutal.
last race. So now, we're going to talk about this. Thank you, Francisco. So here she is, Mischievous Diane, in the mud. Her debut was on a fast track. Last time she's in the mud, so all this rain comes, and I don't think he's necessarily worried now about a wet track right here at Aqueduct.
Your eventual winner's way too far back. Has no chance.
Right. Kathleen, the fact that she got beat this day. Now, here's the big problem with it, Greg. The big problem here is this. It was not as close in her debut, but she did the exact same thing. And these horses get into this habit. Now, she went 6.5 first time. She went 7 last time. She's going to go 6 today. And maybe that's the magic elixir, that she just gets less distance and less time to cough up that late lead. I picked her today. You picked her today. I can say I do not have any confidence. Because if you you can forgive one. Right? It was kind of like with Ashar the other day. You can forgive one. You can't forgive 2. I can forgive 1. The problem is there's not a lot of pedigree in here. I don't have any whispers on any of the first-time starters in here. And the fact of the matter is, a 66 or a 75, which were her 2 buyers, one of those is probably going to get the job done in here. That 66 is probably going to get the job done. And now you combine the fact, and again, I didn't realize how much rain we were going to get, but the fact that she's already run as well as she has on a wet track, at least she has the experience, and she's catching 4 firsters and 2 horses who did very little running in their debut. So she is a pick at 4 to 5 that I have very little confidence in. I just don't know where else to go.
I actually do have confidence in her. I like that race a lot better than you do.
Okay.
She did all the work in there. She battled early. She battled with Gratitude down the stretch, put that one away, and there was big separation to the 4th place finisher behind Gratitude. And she's got caught. I mean, she won that battle and she lost the war. The filly she faced in the debut came back and was 4th and attempted. So a filly who has a little bit of quality. And again, too, as you said, 6.5, then 7. Now I think the 6 is going to help her. And if she breaks clean, gets a good, Dylan Davis is going to give her a good trip. He knows her. He was in that battle last time and has the experience of that. I like the fact that he's been on her both times too, and he's back.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said. I just at 3 to 5, 4 to 5, coughed up 2 leads already in her career.
Going to be way short.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this again too, similar to yesterday. So you're not going to lean heavily here in multi-race wagers.
I mean, again, I'd like, if anybody knows anything about these Asmussen firsters, I'd like to know something, because I don't really want the Jerry O'Dwyer first of the 2 or the Noda first of the 3. Like I said, I don't really like the 2 horses that have run, and it leaves me with Asmussen, and I don't know anything about these horses.
So the 2 quickly. That's the O'Dwyer filly. Dam produced graded stakes place sprinter, never gone south, who was a multiple stakes winner. Also a horse some may know, Sheriff Bianco, who won on the turf for maiden special at Saratoga. Apparently the 6 is not a very pretty mover, but is the Dam half-sister to a sprint stakes winner. But the 7 seems to have some pedigree too. The Dam stakes placed at Parks, minor stakes winner, but produced Honey I'm Good, was a multiple stakes winner.
Yeah.
11-time winner Sugar Heaven. All 7 foals are winners.
I noticed that at least the production, I did notice that, at least the production is, and Honey I'm Good did run well on some wet tracks. I want to say she won maybe the Bed of Roses on a wet track. Don't hold me to that, but I think she won one of those races on a wet track over at Belmont. Yeah, I mean, she would be the one, I guess, that I would use along with Mischievous Diane, but it's very hard to get excited about this race because I don't know where to go and I don't
probably
trust the
gonna be 3
favorite.
to 5 in here.
I would agree. I would agree, sir.
Start the pick 6, then pause?
Yeah, we could do that.
No, whatever you want.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
right.
Let's do it a little differently. I like that idea.
Pick 6 begins in the 4th race. 50,000 starter allowance, 6.5 furlongs, 28,000.
207.
Thank you.
That was my grammar school, PS 207.
Oh, was
right
it
in Howard
really?
Beach. Yep.
Where was it?
Right in Howard Beach, where I live.
You been
Still
back
there.
and visit at all?
I smoke cigars across the street from there 4 days a week by my buddy Phil's house.
I love it.
Yeah.
This race, you went to 12th man, who two-back faced Trash Talker. I think we're going to see this race, right? Trash Talker, I have a hard time believing that race was for real. That race was good enough to win probably a grade 3, if not better.
And there's a lot of things about this race, right? He controlled on the front end. He got away with the proverbial murder in the first quarter, the Trash Talker. And I think that's what kind of led me to 12th man. Because 12th man, he didn't really put that much pressure on him. And he kind of let Trash Talker get away with that easy opening quarter. Even the half wasn't that fast. And he put himself in that unenviable position. And he did it, Greg, off of 9 months. It was a big effort off a 9-month break.
No question.
He has every right to kind of react a little to the number last time. He didn't break well. Repo Rocks came back and won again. You know, so I'm willing to forgive. Again, gets back to the conversation. I'll forgive 1. I won't forgive 2. With a lot going on last time, breaking slowly off the big effort, I was willing to forgive that. I wanted a horse that was going to be a little bit of a price in here. I don't trust the horses who I think are going to take money because kind of along the lines of Trash Talker, I don't know if I necessarily believe the Rudy Rod fig from last time. It does not comply with any of his other dirt races. In fact, it got to the point where it started to look like he was a turf horse, and then all of a sudden he runs this giant number last time. And American Gentleman, who was second and is also in here. I mean, he was coming off, you could look at his card. He was coming off a series of bad efforts, and he was second in there. So I don't know how much I believe in the Rudy Rod race last time. And he's probably going to be the second choice in here, the Trash Talker. So I thought the favorites had some holes. I wanted to take a couple of chances. One with 12th man. And then Charlie 5-0.
Yeah, he's a player.
And the thing that at the starter allowance levels, he brings consistency. He gets checks. He runs well almost all the time. You know, even on the turf, he's run okay. But I mean, if you take the 2 turf races out, his last batch of dirt races, I don't know what happened last time in the Repo Rocks race. We got into a little trouble at the start, but you know, if he gets away from there cleanly.
To me, Trash Talker, that performance was just out of nowhere, but he's back he was claimed out of that race too, so he's with Rob Atras, but Atras had him before.
He did.
So, and Atras is 30% first off the claim. So if he can come anywhere near to that, everybody's running for second in this spot, I think. But that Rudy Rod race, I have a totally different take on it than you do. I actually love that race from this horse. He broke slow out of the gate. It cost him. He was 4 wide pretty much throughout because of that slow start. 5 wide into the turn. And the long sustained move he makes when he has that slow break, he just starts the entire way he is moving. Now, the question for me is maybe that it's somewhat of a quick turn. That was November 26th.
Yeah, it's 2.5 weeks.
It was a huge. He just
days.
kept running the entire time. I love that race.
Yeah, he had to do a lot of running that day.
And he got a huge number in that race too. For him, the best number he's ever run. Can he back it up off the claim? Atras still in her ice. We'll see. But I love that race from him.
Okay.
But yeah, Trash Talker. If he can reproduce that, we're going to see him in the stakes race next time out.
I don't know what to do with that fig. I mean, he passed that number from last time. They are going to get beat a long way in here. They're going to put a hurting on this field. Break time.
Okay.
Pick 5 after this, right?
Yeah.
Let's try and hit this pick 5 today. Let's try and hit the pick 6.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
We pick it up with the late pick 5. Begins with a New York bred maiden special weight, 6 furlong sprint. Drum roll, selections. Okay.
So you and I are kind of bummed here. I'll let you talk about your pick. I really liked Royal Currency today coming out of the Sue Ellen Michigan race, and she's not gonna play. Wonder how much the wet track has to do with that. I do have some steam. We talked about not having any. I didn't have any steam earlier. I got some steam in here. Celine the Queen. I believe I was told that Celine the Queen can fly. And you see 3 of her last 4 works, 47 from the gate, 47 over a course labeled good, and then most recently 47 and 3 out of the gate. The 2 gate works that are that fast would ordinarily make you excited. The fact that this horse also worked 47 from the pole, right? I haven't looked at the workouts. I have not looked at the workout report. I've been here for 40 years. So that usually tells me that if they work 47, 3 of the last 4 workouts, they're not scrubbing on them all the time. She's fast, and she's rumored to be fast. I don't know what price you're going to get in here, especially now with Royal Currency coming out of it. I thought Royal Currency with the Sue Ellen Michigan with the big daylight win.
Keep it honest, yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be, Royal Currency was going to take some money in here today, and I heard this filly can really run. So, yeah, and you see, for me, when I hear a first that can run, and I look at the card and I see a horse like Can't Hurry Love. So Can't Hurry Love is second choice, 3-1 on the morning line, 0 for 5. I'm licking my chops when I got pushed on a fast firster to beat what's starting to look like a horse that's a little camera shy.
Still a shown ability, though.
Yeah, no question about it.
And she will take money.
And she will take money.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm hoping she takes plenty of money.
Celine the Queen, too. The Dam produced Damon Runyon winner. Excellent timing. That was the first foal, and this will be the second winner race. Dam was a multiple stakes winner sprinting, who was 6 for 11 in her career, and you heard she's a runner already.
Yes.
So, going to be probably touched up on the board.
I would imagine.
Word is probably out.
I would imagine.
The 12, so I didn't know that information, that she was a runner, but those works do stand out. Lilu, if you have the opportunity to go back and look at this Lilu race for anybody out there, November 21st at Aqueduct, she's the 9 in this race. Go back and watch it. I love this performance from her. Broke out, bumped out of the gate, slow start, and then Kendra Carmouche just immediately puts her to work and starts getting after it, being aggressive, and just starts picking off horses all the way down the backstretch, coming down into the stretch for home. Gets completely interfered with by the eventual winner of that way, Sterling Silver, who comes in on her, Trevor McCarthy. I don't know how she wasn't DQ'd. I guess in the end, she got beat 4.5 lengths, so there was big separation. There's no question that horse caused the interference.
That's where the board placing stuff comes into play.
I was shocked. I really thought there should have been a DQ. That trouble was significant. The trouble at the beginning was significant. She puts in a massive sustained run in that race. I love her second time out. Now, track conditions today, we'll see. That puts a whole new factor into it.
Sure, yeah. She's by a practical joke out of an Elusive Quality mare. I wouldn't worry too much about her handling a wet track. Elusive Quality broke his maiden in one of the most impressive maiden wins. He went a mile and a 16th first time out in a sea of slop at Belmont Park. I want to say he won by 19 lengths, if I'm not mistaken. It was as I was in the bowels of Belmont Park. I was all the way in the basement, and I'd been waiting to bet on him. Mott he told me this horse can run, and he was a world record holder at one point, going a mile on the turf. He won the poker, I want to say, in 1997. 97, 131 and 3. He was a fast horse. He ran out the side of your TV screen. He was a fast horse, man. A good horse. But yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about the wet track with this horse, based on the paper pedigree.
All right, we'll see how it plays out. Race 6, pick 4. to me, this race I had the most difficult time with on the entire card.
I had a tough time with the second race. The second race was for me to remember the race number at this point, that's how you know it was a head scratcher.
New York bred allowance optional claimer, 6 furlongs. We agree in here.
We
With
do.
The remaining half of the entry here, Honey Money.
I'll tell you what, though. 5 months ago, I'd have seen that moisture in the track, and she would have been an absolute pitch. But you see this effort here. Now you're going to see 3 of these fillies. Breakfast of Bonnie's is in here. Honey Money's in here.
Did save ground in
Happy
here,
Sophia's in here. Yeah. Honey Money has just gotten good now because her prior wet track races were abysmal. And then she got up to Saratoga and she ran well on a good track behind Miss Drimmy, who's just a freak on a wet track. And then this race here, she ran well again on a wet track. So I think you have to feel confident that whatever it was earlier on in her career with the wet track, she's kind of past it, or she's just in such good form, it doesn't seem to matter right now. And we talked about this. I thought you wanted to have some speed. She's going to be forward. And, you know, when you look at these, I want consistency. That's what I want. Now, Breakfast at Bonnie's probably is the one that is helped the most by the wet track. Right? She's done a lot of good. Fair Regis has as well, but, you know, Fair Regis kind of off form a little bit.
By the way, that long shot of Willoway, who won that race, that was some effort.
And she came back and she made a huge move in the Stallion Series race last week. She only finished 4th, the race Banksting won. But she made a move on the turn where it looked like she was going to get a big, big piece of the pie. She kind of probably moved too soon and she flattened out at around the 8th pole. I think she ran 4th, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, she made a huge move.
And she's going to take all the money in here, right? Breakfast at Bonnie's?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we talk about David Aragona all the time. He's so good at what he does. He doesn't have her that short. So he has her at 5-2. I would have assumed the same thing you would have assumed. 7-5, 8-5,
Well,
in that
especially with a wet
range.
track now as well.
Especially with the wet track now. So I'm sure, I don't know if David took it into account as much. Like I said, I live a mile from this place, and I didn't know we were going to be sloppy today. But yeah, I mean, obviously the wet track helps Breakfast at Bonnie's cause.
I thought, too, Fair Regis at a price, you talk about being reliable at this level. She is getting up there. She is a 7-year-old mare, but she just shows up every single time.
Yeah, she's run okay. You know, she's run okay. The race 2 back was probably our best race in a year and a half. I mean, her race 2 back she ran well. You know, my Roxy Girls had a fantastic year. She beat my Roxy Girl that day behind Splendid Ta.
And it was a tough 32 claiming race.
And it was an open race. And now she's back in with her state bred friends. So, yeah, she wasn't for me, but at a price, I wouldn't try to talk you off of her.
Breakfast at Bonnie's is 6, and then Vacay for Pletcher off the layoff. Those two are going to eat up a lot of money on the board.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how Vacay returns, because she's a horse that she has not been that fast. Her best fig by far has come on fast ground. And she has a lot of experience on wet tracks. She's run 3 times on wet tracks. But her best fig came on a fast track when she won the Key Sense a couple of years ago. Well, last year, I should say. Yeah, she gets Lasix for the first time with having run in stakes and only as a 2-year-old. And we'll see how she returns from the layoff.
Yeah, I agree with her. Numbers do not make her
No, they don't.
any kind of overwhelming, even top 3 choice in this race.
She also ran those figs as a 2-year-old and an early 3-year-old, and now you're looking at, you know, a filly that you would assume has matured a little bit.
For Pletcher.
For Todd Pletcher, and it's 9.5 to almost 10 months later. So I'm going to will and sue. But again, David has her a point lower than Honey Money on the line.
Yeah.
How much money would you want in a heads-up bet? Honey Money over Vacay plus 120 to minus 90. Give me as much as I can get.
Yeah.
So you got to look at the board here, and especially with a horse like Vacay, whose figs don't stack up yet.
So hard for me to, very, very often I'm wrong about it, but trying to identify that race, and whoever, it's a different race for everybody, but there's a race where you don't feel confident, and trying to find that race and
No
get as much
question about
coverage as you can. For me today, it's this race.
Okay, there you go. Fair enough.
And we talked about it the other day. Usually when we do that, the favorite wins, or the horse you don't have.
When I first started public handicapping, Jesus, dating myself here, 22 years ago. I've been doing this more than half my life at this point, publicly. I've been betting horses since I'm 5 years old. My father holding me up at Whitehead Pete's window, calling out cold triples. My mom, the first thing she said to me, she was like, "You're a good handicapper. You're a terrible gambler." And part of it was not being able to identify, A, what you do wrong or not well, and B, the races where you're going to need some help. I'm not the biggest advocate of the all button, right? We talked about it yesterday or Thursday.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I just find that I wind up wasting a lot of money because those races where I'm trying to find some chaos usually just fall into line with how the board plays. But identifying a race or how you need to attack a race is just as important as handicapping the race.
No, I think it's more important.
Might be more
arguably.
important.
Yeah, I'd rather be a more proficient gambler than a good handicapper. I think they'll win every day.
I think most people would be in your camp. I don't disagree with that.
7th race. $32,000 claiming race. It gets so much easier from here, right? 1 turn mile in this one coming up. You went to Heimer now. This horse, really good form right now, and probably the one to beat. But I'll talk about my horse in a minute. Go ahead.
This is my lean today. This is the lean. There's a bunch of Musical America is always forward when he's successful. Lost in Rome has to kind of try to be forward. Daddy Knows has to kind of try to be forward. Mexican Wonder Boy, all of the speed. And you just said it, Greg. This horse is in form right now. And you get to these, this horse has climbed 15, 12.5, 25. He's just getting better and better for Gustavo Rodriguez. He's going to get a good trip off of some speed. He's never too far behind either. He beat Daddy Knows in Dark Storm last time. I don't know who of the new shooters, right? Musical America is kind of a pet of mine. I've always liked him, but he's kind of seen better days. His form's really starting to tail off now, I think. Crypto Cash, I guess, is the horse that has a little bit of a fuzzy feel to him. Getting back to a mile. He's run well, and he's run against a little bit better going longer, but I'm not too certain he's not a turf horse. He's making just his 3rd start off of a layoff. And, again, he's more of a, if these horses kind of hit up, somebody's got to come and pick these horses up. Hammer and Hammer is my lean today. That's where I'm leaning today in everything. Pick 4, pick 5, pick 6. I'm singling Hammer and Hammer.
And you're not going to play any way against him.
That's it.
With a saver ticket.
He's the lead.
Interesting. I'm scared of him for sure. I went with Mexican Wonder Boy. I think he's going to be in front. He has to be in front if he's going to win, I think. But you look at that performance last time out. Villainous, that's a horse who's gotten really good right now, too. He's put together a couple of wins in a row. Mexican Wonder Boy got tired late, weak, and lost that race off 10 months off.
Yeah.
Second off the bench, I think he's going to last a little bit longer. And you look back to some of his races. So until he came back, this horse was a winner against Everfast, who was runner-up of the Preakness against War of Will, and has done some good things since then, too.
Yeah. Won an allowance race at Saratoga a couple of summers ago, too.
Happy Saver. He was 4th to him in the Federico Tessio. He was an allowance optional 75 races prior to this horse. It's not even a question in terms of class who this horse is facing, competed against. He's probably obviously not the same since he came back, but he still, I think, showed me enough in that race, figure-wise. If he could take a little move forward, I love him today in this race.
Okay. I just think I think there's a lot of pressure out there for him today. But I don't disagree. He's one of the players in here. If you don't have a strong opinion like I do on Hammer and Hammer, he's one of the horses you need to lean on.
And maybe he's not the same horse, but to me, I mean, he showed sprint speed against a lot better company too. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how aggressive Jose Lezcano has to be to get him to be comfortable on the front end and be clear.
And
I just can't see
he'll probably be
clearing
second
here.
choice in here.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah. See, that's a morning line. I think Hammer and Hammer is going to get pounded. But that's just me. I hope not, for my sake.
This feature to me changed a lot with the way the track condition is today. Garland of Roses, race 8, 6 furlongs. Fillies and mares, 3 and up in this spot. And Sadie Lady, the 6, is going to control up front, but with the off track, do you agree? You got a downgrader?
I didn't really like her chances today anyway. now she's considerably slower on wet tracks. And she's another one. I know she won the Dancing Renee, but she didn't kind of get lucky. She got lucky when she won the Dancing Renee, and then she did not run well in Saratoga. Now we start to see the starts and stops on her PPs. So I was not a fan of hers today. I mean, the horse to beat obviously is Glass Ceiling. We'll take a look at the Pumpkin Pie when she was second to Lady Rocket, who came back and
Who was running in the wrong mile race on Cigar Mile Day.
Well said. Yeah.
She got a better figure in a faster time than American Revolution.
Yeah, I mean she was good, and there's no really way around this, and she almost gets the job done here. I mean this is a huge effort. She almost runs down Lady Rocket, and she's going to fall. And unlike Sadie Lady, she's hit the board in 5 of her 6 wet track starts. She's just as fast, if not faster, on a wet track. She gets Sadie Lady in here to put a little pace on for her. It's
not like that's a one-off,
No.
too. The last couple of starts, she produced that race the start before on a fast track.
And it's amazing, too, because she's held, she had there was a little bit of a blip on the radar, but she's held her form. You look at her card, right? There's no layoff lines. Now, the layoff line is 2 months now. But there aren't any layoff lines dating all the way back to Halloween of last year, October 30th of last year. That's pretty impressive that she stayed in constant training, no real breaks, 12 races in 13 and a half months. And, she earned $115,000. She's earned $250,000 the last 2 years. She's been good in her last two. I mean, that race last time out, she did everything but win. And, right, if you use the old proverbial, what would Lady Rocket be in here? 2 to 5?
At least.
1 to 5?
At least. Came back when the Grade 3 Gopher won by pole. Got a 106 by her speed figure in the process. First time for her going a mile. Now, that's not saying Glass Ceiling is going to be able to do this and move forward next time. But, again, those last 2 races she's produced, win this race, I think, pretty convincingly. The interesting one to me that we both have third, the figures, to me, they don't really match up, but I'm just intrigued by her pattern and the form she's in Song River.
And we'll take a look at Song River up at Saratoga. Always like to take a trip up north. Here she is. You see Glass Ceilings in here as well as before Glass Ceiling got good again. This was, I thought, a big time they knew on closing weekend. This filly was 5 to 2. She took every dollar on the tote board. And for a horse who had shown very little speed in her career, went to the top, and it was only a length and a half when all was said and done, but at no point were you afraid of her getting beat if you bet on her this day. She was home. The gate opened, she was 2 in front, and the race was over.
And proved she does not need the lead last start.
Yes, was able to rate off of the pace last time. You saw the raindrops falling in Saratoga. She won on a good course last time. We'll see how she handles an abundance of moisture, but yeah, she makes a lot of sense in here. There's nothing wrong with her. The problem is Glass Ceiling's last 2 figs just drown these horses. And like you said, it's not just one, it's 2. We have one more replay.
Oh, okay.
We have a Sadie Lady. I believe this is the Dancing Renee, if I'm not mistaken. And did I send this in? Yes. No, it was the correction. I'm sorry. I forgot that we went back to the Big A. So here she is, and she's going to hold off.
5 for 8 at the Big A, by the way.
Yeah, right. And that's the big number here. Kind of offset by the wet track today. You see Call on Mischief, who's the number 1 in here in this race today. She's going to try. She gets every chance to run her down here at the Big A, but she just can't get past Sadie Lady. And again, this is when Sadie Lady was in really good form and didn't have to deal with a wet track. So we'll see.
By the way, I was really intrigued about, as a big long shot, let me take this call, saying gets away finally from a sloppy track, so forget those last 2 efforts, because if she did get away from them,
right.
I thought she figured in here, but
different story now.
Yeah, not ideal setup for her with this wet track today. Finale.
We got about 2 minutes to get through the finale.
All right, 16 N2L, 6 furlongs here. Huge scratch with a 13 gone. I thought that was a major player. What'd you like about the 2?
I picked the 13 on top. I had no clue what to do in here. This filly ran on dirt early on in her career. The mile in the 16th race is too far for her. She's going to cut back to a sprint. I thought on dirt anyway. She cuts back to a sprint in here. She has a couple of ho-hum efforts on wet tracks, but at least she has some experience there. This is a spread race for me. I want to use 2, 6, 10, 11, 14.
Okay, for me, 14 I think is a standout now in this race. But yeah, it's not. I don't trust as a heavy single I'm going to lean on. But I think it's absolutely the one to beat. Speed, drawn outside, big drop down in class. But it's form at Laurel, Parks, and Delaware. So we'll find out. But facing a lot easier, I believe. And I think with Kendrick aboard, she's going to be in front.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of, there's not a ton to go off of here. The filly you're going to pick, yeah, I mean, she's the one. My problem with her is she hasn't won in over a year, but she's finding the right bunch of horses to.
No question.
I mean, no question about it,
Yeah.
right? Finding the right bunch of horses. It's just, for me, what's she now? She's going to be 2-1 now, and it's kind of this is the race where I wouldn't be playing vertically, but I'd like to have coverage. And this is also the kind of race where I would try and find a pick 5 or a pick 4 sequence where I would single hammer and hammer, single glass ceiling, and hit the all ball and make the sign across and hope for chaos.
So you are changing your tune. You're coming around to it.
Well, you never deal in absolutes, and I don't like. I use the all ball sometimes. I don't like doing it, but we kind of like Honey Money a little bit, so I don't think we have to go that deep. Honey Money, Breakfast at Bonnie, single all, hope for a Bomsky. I don't know.
That Honey Money race to me was one of the toughest.
Today. We can see what happened.
We got to do that race. The Honey Money race to me was.
That was your chaos race.
Yeah.
The second race was my chaos race today.
Business on the back end here.
Yes, sir.
All right, again.
Send them over here.
Get signed up, started.
Got my Naira Bets pen.
There you go. Take advantage of that $200 deposit match sign up bonus. Bonus 200 code to punch in for new members at NyraBets.com or on the Nyra Bets app. Pick 6 carryover today, 28,207. It begins in the 4th. So play it with Nyra Bets. Good luck to everybody. And some bonuses today as well. $20 bonus, bet 100 at Aqueduct and at Tampa Bay, and you earn $20 whether you win or lose. Don't forget, you got to opt in on Nyra Bets. $20 win bet bonus on Los Alamitos Futurity out at Los Al on the West Coast. Hit a $25 win bet, you'll get a $20 bonus in your account. Again, you got to opt in. And we will be on live America's Day at the Races beginning at 4 Eastern on FS2. We'll see you from 4 to 6. Show actually begins at 3 Eastern on SNY.
Let's go, Mets.
Enjoy it.
Do it again tomorrow.
Yes, we'll see you then.
Hello, racing fans, and once again, welcome to Aqueduct. Cloudy skies above, the main track sloppy and sealed. We have a pick 6 carryover today of more than $28,000. The pick 6 will start in race number 4. Changes start in race number 1. An equipment change on number 4. Blame It on Brutus, blinkers on. Blinkers on the 4. Scratch 5, Simple Sugar, and 6, Sutton Valley. Scratch 5 and 6 out of the first. In the second race, scratch 1A, Bingo John, and the 11, Cecilia Mike. Scratch 1A and 11. Note that number 3, Just Right, the weight is 122, and number 5 is 1 pound over. In today's third race, number 3, Snow Loves a Fight, is now 1 pound over. The fourth race kicks off that pick 6. Scratch the 1A, Bezos. Scratch the 1A. In the fifth, scratch number 2, Royal Currency. Scratch the 2. Number 4 is 2 pounds over, and number 10 is now 1 pound over. Sixth race, scratch 1, Quality Stones, part of an entry, and scratch the 7, Violent Point. Scratch 1 and 7. In the seventh race, scratch 1A, Grump's Little Tots. Scratch the 1A. Number 3, Microscope, runs with 1 aluminum pad again. Aluminum pad again on the 3. And a rider change on the 6, Lost in Rome, to Pablo Fregoso. Fregoso rides the 6. 8th race is the 36th running of the Garland of Roses Stakes. No changes. And in the 9th, scratch 4, Big Tony's Girl. 7, Tell a Perfect Tale. Scratch the 8, Tootsie Song, and the 13, Shining Colors. Scratch 4, 7, 8, and 13. Number 6, 1 pound over. Number 14, 1 pound over. Main track is sloppy and sealed. And we have a pick 6 carryover